stepped outside and walked toward the garden. There sat Mrs. Han, an elderly lady who had been working in the house for many years. She had a soft heart and loved Taehyung like her own son. Taehyung, come here, my child, sit with me for a while. Sure, Mrs. Han. He smiled warmly and sat beside her. You look happy today, She asked with a gentle smile. Yes, I am. Because of Jungkook? She teased him, her eyes wrinkled with mischief. Taehyung's face turned red as he looked away shyly. Maybe, he whispered, hiding a smile. He's very good with you, my dear. I just wish he was that kind to the rest of the world too. Taehyung looked down, his smile fading. He always feared that darker side of Jungkook. Everything will be fine, my child, don't worry, he said softly, patting his shoulder. But how can I make Jungkook a good person? He asked innocently, his eyes full of hope. Just then Jimin walked in from behind with a wide grin. Oh, I can tell you how to do that. Both of them turned around, stared. Oh, Jimin, you scared me, boy. Oh, darling, if I didn't scare you sometime, how will you stay young, He warned playfully. Stop your nonsense, Jimin. She laughed, slightly hitting his arm. You never miss a chance to flirt, do you? He said, rolling his eyes. Flirt? Me? Never. He said, dramatically making time legal. The garden filled with laughter. Mrs. Han shook her head, still smiling, and went back toward the kitchen. Taehyung and Jimin stayed behind, still teasing each other. Sweetheart, he said, crossing his arm around Taehyung's shoulder dramatically. He's your brother's husband, Jimin. She shouted, half laughing, half scolding as he walked away. Excuse me. He is my boyfriend, not my brother's husband. I do not have any brotherly feeling in me. He teased, pulling Taehyung playfully closer. Taehyung almost burst out laughing, almost losing his balance. Jungkook should give you a proper beating one day, she said sharply before disappearing inside. Don't even listen to her. He took her, placing his hand again on Taehyung's shoulder like he was showing off. What can I say? Girls just die for my personality, he said proudly, striking a fake movie star pose. Taehyung laughed again, but then looked up through the glass window on the upper floor. Jungkook was standing watching them, his outer face from Taehyung's lips. He tried to remove Jimin's arm away, but Jimin followed his gaze. Oh no, do not do that, Taehyung. You are breaking my heart because of that wild bull. You are pushing away the hand of a handsome man, he said dramatically, pretending to be hurt. Jungkook was still staring, his expression unbelievable. I think he is going to kill me, he murmured, nervously stepped back. Through the window, Jungkook's shadow disappeared. He was coming down. Taehyung, save me, he is coming, he shouted. Jungkook came down the stairs quickly, his steps heavy and tense. Both Taehyung and Jimin instinctively stepped back. In the beginning, Taehyung's foot slipped on the wheat ground. Before Jimin could reach him, Taehyung fell backward into a pile of dry leaves. There was a strange, awful smile coming from it. Taehyung, he rushed forward, kneeling beside him. Give me your hand. Taehyung quickly stood up and brushing the leaves. Do not touch that, Taehyung. Stop. It could be, he warned. Taehyung had already brushed all the leaves away. The silence, the smell grew stronger, and there beneath the leaves lay a girl's dead body. Taehyung froze, his whole body trembling. He stepped back, eyes wide with horror. Jungkook immediately pulled him into his arms, holding him close. Jimin used the tip of his shoes to turn the girl's body slightly, but her face was unrecognizable. The cheerful garden had suddenly turned cold and heavy. Taehyung, still shaking, hid his face in Jungkook's chest, too terrified to look again. Jungkook looked at Jimin, his eyes sharp. Jimin also looked at him with questioning eyes. If I ever killed someone, I would not hide the body in my own garden, and you do not have the courage to do something like that. Both of them turned to look at Taehyung. He was clearly shocked. He could not even look properly at the body laying below. Then who is she? And why is she here? All the guards are dead. And now suddenly a body appears here and nobody even noticed, he said, angrily climbing upon the ledge. He pulled Taehyung up with him. Taehyung's eyes, just before moving, fell again on the spot below, and he froze, staring. Rosie? The words slipped from his trembling lips. Jungkook and Jimin looked at him in surprise. Neither of them knew the name, but it clearly meant something to Taehyung. Rosie? He whispered again, taking slow, cheerful steps forward. Yes, it was her, his old friend. Even after all these years, he could still recognize her face. Tears filled his eyes as he climbed down, ignoring Jungkook's warning. He dropped to his knees beside the dead girl. Her face was brushed, dried blood on her forehead, and her skin pale and bleached. Taehyung shook her gently, sobbing loudly. Rosie, who did this to you? How did this happen? He cried, holding her helplessly. Jungkook came down quickly, took Taehyung into his arms and held him tightly. Taehyung struggled, crying like a child, wanted to reach Rosie again, but Jungkook would not let him and carried him back up. Get this body out of here now, he ordered Jimin, his voice calm but strong. Jimin nodded and called the guards. He ordered them to remove the body from the house immediately, even as it was being carried away. A question stayed in his mind. With such heavy security, how could someone bring a dead body inside? And why was it left in a place where everyone in the house could see it? No, Jungkook, let me go. She's my friend. Who did this to her? She's my friend, please, let me go, he cried, struggling to break free. Calm down, Taehyung, stop crying. She's gone. His voice was quiet but heavy. For Jungkook, nothing in the world was harder than seeing Taehyung hurt. Taehyung was crying like a small child, completely broken. Jimin stayed a little behind, silent, not saying a word. Jungkook had only told him to stay quiet. For the first time, Jungkook looked at someone with such deep feeling. The man everyone knew as heartless, who could hurt people without blinking, was now holding Taehyung tightly, trying to make him calm. Through tears, Taehyung looked up at him. Who did this to her? Was it you? Tell me, Jungkook, it was you, right? You kill people. Even Jimin said so. How could I ever love someone like you? You are a monster. You killed my friend. He screamed, hitting Jungkook's chest and trying to push him away. Jungkook didn't move. He stood silently, taking every hit. Jimin turned and stepped forward quickly. Taehyung, stop! That's not what I meant, he said softly, but Jungkook didn't look at either of them. His eyes were dark, not with anger, but with something deeper. Whoever hurt Taehyung, they were going to pay for it. He didn't care who lived or died. All that mattered was Taehyung's pain. Jungkook's arm held him tightly, as if trying to protect him from the whole world. Taehyung, however, kept crying and shaking, unable to calm down, while Taehyung stood silently, lost in his own quiet range, his feet slowly clenching behind Taehyung's back. Stay away from me, you are a killer. I can't live with a killer, he shouted, pushing Jungkook with his arm strength. Jungkook let him go, otherwise Taehyung could never have pushed him that hard. Taehyung ran into his room, locked the door, and collapsed on the bed. Jimin stepped forward, but then Jungkook raised his hand to stop him. Jungkook grabbed a hand through his ear, frustration clear on his face. He turned to Jimin. Even Jimin, who had never feared Jungkook, felt uneasy this time. Jungkook had not done anything wrong, yet his eyes were cold and sharp, full of confusion. Stay calm, he murmured quietly. I will check the footage. Jimin opened his laptop silently. Every corner of the mansion was watched by hidden cameras. He began reviewing each recording carefully. Meanwhile, Taehyung lay on his bed, looking at the sunset through the window. His heart felt heavy and sad. He couldn't stop thinking about Rosie. How incredibly she had been killed, and how the person he loved might be part of it. Silent tears rolled down his cheek and fell onto the bed. Slowly night covered the sky with darkness, just like the sadness filling his heart. the room door had opened. There was no doubt. It could only be Jungkook. He could recognize Jungkook's scent anywhere. Jungkook entered quietly, closed the door behind him, and came to sit beside him on the bed. Taehyung didn't move at all. His eyes were swollen from crying. Jungkook noticed immediately, and anger burned inside him. Not because of the tears, but because Taehyung had cried so much for someone else. Jungkook slowly ran his hand through Taehyung's soft hair. Taehyung insensibly pushed his hand away. Jungkook gently wiped his tears, but Taehyung pulled back, sitting up straight. "Stay away from me," he snapped angrily. "You are a killer, and I fell in love with a killer." He wiped his tear and got off the bed. Jungkook stepped in front of him. "Taehyung, I didn't kill Rosie." For the first time, he was trying to explain himself to someone. "Then who did?" he shouted, trembling with anger and pain. "I will find out, I promise." He tried to touch his face, but Taehyung pushed his hand away. "Leave me. I can't live in your world anymore. I should have left long ago. Living with someone like you, a heartless, cruel man, only gives pain and fear." He shouted, trying to move past him, but Taekook suddenly grabbed him from behind. Jungkook's still-like arm wrapped around Taehyung's back, pulling him close to his chest. Taehyung gasped, struggling in his hold. "If you love me, I could live with it. But the problem is, I love you. Yes, I love you. And that means everything to me. If you even think of leaving me, I will destroy that thought before it's even born." His voice grew dark and rough. "Control your tongue, Jungkook. You and your family live in rivers of blood every day. And one day you will drown me in it too," he shouted. Jungkook suddenly pushed him away, his eyes burning with strange fury, a mix of pain, anger, and helplessness. Jungkook took a slow step toward him. Taehyung backed away, trembling. "Jungkook, I do not want to live with you anymore." "Too late for that. You should have thought about it before coming to me." He picked up a small knife that was laying on the fruit tray nearby. Taehyung gasped, his breath caught in his throat. He stumbled backward, running toward the washroom. He quickly tried to shut the door, but Jungkook caught it with his hand before it could close. Taehyung, in a panic, slammed the door hard against his head. He didn't move, stood there, unscored and unreadable. Taehyung grew furious and pushed the door harder, slamming it again and again on Jungkook's hand. The skin of the back of Jungkook's hand tore, but he didn't make a sound. Finally, with one forceful push, he flung the door open. "Jungkook, you will kill me." He trembled with fear, staring at Jungkook Belfast. "Yes, if you thought of leaving me, you do not understand me yet, Taehyung," he said, quietly gripping the knife tightly and cutting his own arm. A deep cut ran through the flesh and blood spurted onto Taehyung's face. "Jungkook," he screamed, shaking as the blood showered over him. He almost down in Jungkook's presence. "How could you even think of leaving me?" If Jungkook were in control, he might have handled it differently, but now he was not in his senses. "I'm a killer," he said, cutting his other arm as well. "Jungkook, please," he trembled, trying to stop the blood from flowing. He was slowly being drenched in it. Jungkook smiled as he dipped his finger in his own blood and drew a mark on Taehyung's face. "See how beautiful you are. Feel it. This is beauty in blood. When it touches you, it will fill with you a strange calm." He tore his shirt forcefully from the top and wrote Jungkook on Taehyung's chest with his blood. Then he pushed him against the wall, pressing his face onto Taehyung's lip, showing his love mixed with madness. "I really, really love you. Can't you feel it?" He looked at Taehyung with intense red eyes. Taehyung stared at the blood on the floor as if some animal had been cut there. The blood flowed fast from Jungkook's wounds. Jungkook, I'm scared." "Why are you scared?" "Too much blood has spilled," he said, placing his hand on it nervously. Let this dirty blood leave me. Then I will eat the blood you choose. Then I will become what you want. Otherwise, I can never change myself," he said, kissing Taehyung's neck. "I trust your love. Nothing will happen to you, Jungkook." I will never leave you. I will never go away. He sobbed while Jungkook smiled and pressed his lips again. Taehyung felt himself losing control over Jungkook's madness. How can I ever see heaven in your eyes? Jungkook kissed him again and again repeatedly. Finally, Taehyung saw him collapse heavily on the floor of the washroom. Blood had swelled so fast it was inevitable. He screamed, ran, and cried out for Jimin. Jimin, who was running to the guard, quickly rushed inside, seeing him covered in blood. He was shocked and stepped in. When he saw Jungkook, he held his head in disbelief. Who is going to lift this bull? I can't do it. You are so mean, too much. He stayed by Jungkook and started crying, while Jimin looked at him angrily. Alright, stop crying so much. Don't try to prove how much you love him. It made me jealous. He couldn't stop teasing him. Jimin picked him up in his arm. It felt like his back might break. But still, he carried him out. The guards helped. Taehyung held Jungkook's hands and kissed. I loved you so much. You wasted so much blood, Jungkook. After 1 month, not much had changed, but Jungkook had started controlling his anger in front of Taehyung. He never said or did anything that could scare him or hurt him again. Every second or third day, he took Taehyung shopping or out for fun. Now they were sitting in aeroplane. Jungkook looked bored while Taehyung was cheerful, chatting with the people around them. Jungkook sat quietly wearing a mask, just waiting for the flight to end. They were going to Paris, but as Taehyung wished, Jungkook agreed to travel locally instead of taking his private jet. Jungkook, that child, he's staring at you. He laughed softly. Taehyung, I feel like I'm the most third-standard person in the world. Oh, come on, stop acting. You are not rich anymore. He playfully hit Jungkook's arm. When did I become poor? He looked at him in fake shock. You little brat, I have lots of money. What? He shouted suddenly and people around turned to look at them. I'm brat? He spread his arm and stood up dramatically. No, little boy, you are not. You are a prince. Sit down, please. He folded his hands, almost begging him. If anyone had seen this big Mafia king folding hands in front of his lover, it could have been headlines news. Taehyung smiled and sat down again proudly. Sometimes I feel like punishing you, but I show mercy. He grabbed Jungkook's phone. He was using it to tell his grandfather that he was leaving. Taehyung leaned against Jungkook's shoulder comfortably and started using his phone. Jungkook was at the stage of his patience. Paris, also known as the City of Flowers, had already started showing his beauty. Taehyung's eyes sparkled as he looked around, admiring everything. Jungkook didn't stop him from doing anything. Whatever he wanted to eat, buy, or say, he let him do it all. Even when Taehyung did silly things like buying a cheap stub of beer instead of an expensive branded one, Jungkook didn't complain. To Jungkook, these things seemed useless, but for Taehyung, they were full of meaning. Sometimes Taehyung would give money to a street food seller, something Jungkook, a mafia boss, had never done before. Traveling in an ordinary flight, walking around Paris with no guards or enemies, all of this was new for him. He was doing it all for Taehyung, just to see him happy. Here, he had no friends, no enemies, only Taehyung, his laughter, his bright eyes full of life. That's all Jungkook wanted. They sat near the Eiffel Tower. Jungkook had seen that place many times before. He often came here alone, like a stranger to the world, a man who never cared about anything. But this time things were different. The boy beside him, the one resting his head on his shoulder, had turned that cold, distant man into someone alive again. You eat like a goat. Your mouth always makes something to chew. Maybe I should put a pacifier in your mouth so you can keep stacking it all the time, he said while watching the lights fell across Taehyung's face. Taehyung lifted his head, caught Jungkook's hand and forcefully placed the cone on his hand. I do not think there is any husband in the world who keeps such a close eye on what his husband eats. He stood there plotting, maybe expecting Jungkook to come close to him. Jungkook shook his head. I'm tired. I'm not in the mood to handle your drama right now. Let's go. I'm not going. He stood stubbornly. Jungkook stepped and turned back. Do you want me to fill you with bullets? You do not have that much courage. He flipped his hair haughtily. Taekook tried hard not to smile at his cuteness. So, Your Highness, what should I do for you? He said as he started walking closer. Come here. He waved his finger with a sparkle in his eyes, calling Jungkook closer. Jungkook still automatically moved toward him until he was standing right in front of him. Yes, my friends, he said while looking straight into Taehyung's eyes. Taehyung wrapped his arm around Jungkook's neck. I want to see the Eiffel Tower from the top, he said innocently, pulling Jungkook's cheeks playfully. I feel like I have turned into a woman-shaped man who has become a dainty for a 4-foot boy. He slipped one arm around Taehyung's waist, lifted him easily, and started walking toward the car. No, I will not go. I want to go by bus. I do not care. Let me go. You wild animal. I will not leave you. You are always forcing me. Someone help, please. He started shouting. Jungkook looked toward one of his guards and raised his hand. The guard quickly gave him a roll of tape. Jungkook pushed Taehyung inside the car and forcefully covered his mouth with the tape. Then he tied his hand tightly with the same tape. Just as he finished, the police car had stopped right behind them. Taehyung quickly lifted his hand from the back seat, waving his hand to get attention. Help! Help! He tried to shout even with the tape on his mouth. Jungkook stepped out of the car pretending to handle the situation, but the police officer had already come closer. One of them removed the tape from Taehyung's throat. Sir, please help me. This man is kidnapping me. I do not want to go with him. He shouted in panic. The officer glared at Jungkook. Handcuff him. I will handle him in the station. Little good boy, get in the car, the officer said to Taehyung kindly. Jungkook stopped and to look at Taehyung one last time. If you come with anyone without Evac, you know what can I do? He warned in a stern tone, raising his finger. Taehyung swallowed nervously. Taehyung's rib curled in his throat. He froze, realizing Jungkook missed every single word. Did I do something wrong? He asked the police officer nervously. Do you know him? He asked while the other officer had already put Jungkook into the car and was taking him away. Taehyung shook his head firmly. He's my husband, he said proudly. The police officer suddenly laughed. Then you did a big mistake, he said while Taehyung just kept his mouth shut. Sir, let's go, he said, and Taehyung nodded and got into the car.